What's up guys, Nolan here, and today we got a Talking Tarkov dev stream with the man himself, Nikita from BSG, as well as some streamers Geeksy, FairTX, Clean, and Aqua FPS, where we got a ton of new info, some leaks, and some drops. First things first, there was no date yet for the wipe, but it is still possible that it happens with patch 12.9. I think BSG are making sure to wait as long as possible to actually confirm a date or a patch for a wipe this time around, and that's so people don't get too hyped for it or they get too annoyed by it. Either way, they're just making sure they know when it's going to be for sure this time. Speaking of 12.9 will not end up being a big patch, but it will have good updates and a bunch of new content. Nikita mentioned they hope to fix late spawns specifically with this patch. He also mentioned that they are doing a code freeze, meaning that they are stopping the work specifically on 12.9 to get what they have on it right now properly tested and then release it in time for the end of the year. Along with some content that we're going to be talking about in a second, they also mentioned networking fixes and, like I said before, the late spawn fixes. Nikita mentioned that they will be having a 12.10 patch after 12.9 as well. So regarding patch 13, we now don't know how far that will be. And for those who don't know, Streets of Tarkov is with patch 13. Nikita was very clear during the podcast that Streets is still a long ways away though, so don't expect it for the end of the year and don't expect it at least for the first quarter of next year. However, Nikita did mention that we will be seeing more about Streets before the end of this year, so hopefully we can learn more about that then. Now for stuff he did show off, we got new weapons, new gear, new attachments, which I'll have playing in the background of this video. For hopes for 12.9, Nikita mentioned that we could be seeing face selection for the PMCs as well as voice selection for the PMCs. The Woods expansion is going to be in patch 12.9, not before that, and it's going to be a total rework of the entire map. It's going to look and play very differently, as well as being 2 to 2.5 times bigger than the current version. 12.9 will also have a lot of quality of life fixes and additions. Nikita confirmed that the weapon malfunctions and the new rig or armor system will not make it into 12.9. The armor hitbox system is delayed into next year due to other systems and a lack of engineering help or capabilities at BSG. Nikita said that they decided to focus on other things first, and the customizable rigs, vest, or MOLLE system might be in ahead of that armor hitbox system, and it is still considered SoonTM, just not in 12.9. So again, to make that clear, the MOLLE system of the customizable vests could be in SoonTM, but the armor hitbox section of that is delayed further. BSG have put a ton of work into the Streets of Tarkov location. Nikita mentioned a 30% increase in the team members since March of this year, all of them just going to Streets. Nikita specifically mentioned that he wants us to get lost on Streets. It's going to be that significant of a map. He also mentioned that there will be a unique boss in the car dealership, which will be a fortified building. He's going to have 8 to 10 guards, and he's going to have an RPD machine gun. He also showed off a couple of pictures, which I'll have in the background. If you want all of the current info on Streets, check out the video linked below. The main priority for Nikita next year is a complete overhaul and rebalance of the entire game. Everything will get touched on or rebalanced. That means economy, guns, health, loot, everything, and BSG are taking feedback for these very seriously. Next year will be crucial to finalizing the game. Some people misunderstood what Nikita said here. They want to finalize Escape from Tarkov next year. That doesn't mean launch. That means actually know what they want the game as a final product, which could mean likely a launch in 2022. We'll see what happens. Offline co-op came back up, and it is still planned and will be hosted on BSG servers. There still will not be any progression to those. The GPS, radio, and binoculars were confirmed by Nikita again, and they will all have protected slots like the compass. Nikita mentioned they already nerfed the star rounds twice, and they are super skeptical about nerfing them further, and again mentioned it's not going to be removed, guys. While they're on the subject of special use rounds and things like that, motion sensors, cameras, explosives, mines, and special ammo or grenades are all confirmed again. Nikita specifically mentioned that these all belong in the game and should make it in at some point. Nikita spoke about Steam Audio, where Steam Audio was bugged, but it is not BSG's fault. It's actually something on Steam Audio's actual side, where their team is working to get it fixed, and once that issue is resolved, BSG are going to add it back into Tarkov. Nikita specifically mentioned hoping to have it in for 12.9, and if not, along with the Unity 19 implementation, whenever that might end up being. The Woods expansion picks are going to be in the background, and they also mentioned that the Woods location will be getting a player increase as well. BSG plan on expanding the shooting range and adding skill training areas to the hideout like a gym. Nikita was not specific on whether this would be the hideout DLC though, so we'll see when that ends up coming into the game. The new vest and rig system will be as universal as they can possibly make it, with as much customization as possible. Nikita showed some pictures pictures of that, and I'll have that playing in the background. Along with this, Nikita also mentioned they want an ultimate preset of your entire character at some point in the game, where you click one button and your entire character is set up and it buys whatever you need to buy off of the flea market or whatever. This is the exact same thing that you would have with building your gun right now, but just picture your absolute everything for your character. BSG are testing skins where they showed off that pig compensator, but don't worry, that was actually just a joke, although they were getting kind of serious where Aqua FPS actually wanted that compensator, so now that might end up being in the game now, but we'll see. Nikita did specifically mention that weapon paint and environmental effects on guns are work in progress, like rain and dirt showing up real time on your weapons in raid. Speaking of weapons, the HK G28 was confirmed. That's a 308 marksman rifle. There's some kind of new 545 weapon coming to the game, which looks like it's going to be some kind of AK, but I don't know enough about this. If you guys know more, please let me know in the comments and I'll add it into the top of the comments or the description. They showed off a new 9mm AR. They showed off the smart shotgun from Kalashnikov that's going to be coming soon TM. The Vector will be in patch 12.9 as 9mm and 45 ACP. That is confirmed by Nikita. He also confirmed that the Scar might be in patch 12.10, and he also confirmed that there will be no conversions for 300 Blackout in the game. They wanted to add conversion kits but decided not to because of the amount of effort involved with the coding for all of the different 5.56 to 300 Blackout guns that will be involved. However, he did mention that that might come later. It's just not planned right now. Along with that, Nikita confirmed that the MCX will be 300 Blackout and it will be only 300 Blackout. They showed off a new advanced thermal monocular. He also mentioned more thermals coming soon TM. They showed off the war belt, which might end up being its own slot for equipment in the future. Nikita also mentioned overhauling the looks of optics sometime soon TM, maybe 12.9. Nikita mentioned that the loot only dead drop extraction points are planned and there might be some in Streets of Tarkov. For those who don't know, these are locations that you can drop your loot but not leave the raid so that you can go and get your loot later and still stay in the raid to do what you need to do. Again, this is like the 4th or 5th time that Nikita has fully confirmed VOIP is coming to the game. They're going to test it on the ETS. They just want to make sure that they do it and implement it correctly. Nikita mentioned that they will be testing new types of inertia on the ETS as well, so some of you will be happy to hear that, but he also mentioned they're going to test a lot of different things, including removing the flea market, including removing secure containers, and this doesn't mean they're going to do it, it just means they're going to test it, so we'll see what comes of it. Speaking of the ETS, don't worry if you didn't get in. I haven't even gotten in yet myself, so stay patient. That's going to do it for today's Talking Tarkov podcast, but if you need more Escape from Tarkov news or content in your life, then make sure to check out these playlists here. If you like this video, then you know the drill. I really appreciate the people who do. Otherwise, I hope you at least learned something, and I also hope you have a nice day. See you guys.